If you do the countdown, it gives you a minute, right?
Yeah, if I do it,
That's
still gonna hear everything though.
He gonna hear everything.
How you pass, little brick?
I can see it.
Okay, finna play the intro. Live, you guys.
Welcome to another night of Wisdom Wednesday. We have Joey here with us again on tonight.
Hello.
You say it like that? Okay, you guys. We didn't come on last week because everybody was sick. All the kids had COVID. I had the symptoms. Um, so the girl was feeling bad. I had a headache for 5 days. I had a fever, and I still have a cough and some stuff and it's going on. But we back.
We're back.
Um. Anyways, before we get started, I'm going to introduce the growing business owners. But before I do that, I do want to ask you guys to say a special prayer for this family that their kids attend my kids' school, and yesterday they lost their home due to a house fire, and they also lost their mother. So it's sad when those babies have to grow up without a mother, and they're only in first grade. And I want to say the other child is in fourth or fifth grade, and then they have a high school brother. But all in all, the situation is sad, and we're asking for prayers and also donations. I'll put my cash out below. The family are asking for like gift cards so that they can buy what they need as they go throughout this devastation. So, not asking much. If you can, donate $1, $5, or whatever your heart desires. Let's try to help the family the best way we know how, because their situation today could be yours tomorrow. So
This is
let's
true.
just bless that family. Um, Dying to touch my heart because Jalen and them came home talking about it, and they was talking about how it was sad that the kids don't have a mama no more. So we just had like a grateful moment to, you know, be grateful that you still have your parent. So moving forward, let's get into introducing these growing business owners. Joy, would you like to start?
DeConte Allen, Mr. No Wires. He is the owner and proprietor and operator of Perfect Mount. He installs flat screen televisions, security systems. He does lighting, anything related to wiring and entertainment for your home. He handles it. If you like a ceiling fan mounter, he does that. You name it, he does it. Mr. No Wires, DeConte Allen.
The next one is Aisha Kidd at Southern Eye Group. So she's one of us. She's an ophthalmologist, and she's one of a kind. She's in Daphne. She's in Fairhope. She's in Foley, Mobile, and they have a new office in Spanish Fort in Saraland.
Thank you, Sarah Lamb.
I was like, dang, did I say that right? Because last night y'all corrected me.
Yeah, you said it right.
Okay, and the next one is Deshaun Davis, the Fitness Lab on Old Shell Road. So if you need somewhere to work out, if you are just need some therapeutic, some therapy, and you just want to get away from the house, or if you need to lose a few pounds and get your abs right, reach out to Deshaun Davis at the Fitness Lab. Venom, Oliver Jackson at My Barber is Better Than Yours if you need a fade. and or you have kids, small boys that need their haircut, or even if you're a woman and you wear your hair like mine and want a nice fade, reach out to Oliver Jackson at My Barber is Better Than Yours. Um,
Danielle Thickman.
Danielle Thickpen at Rage and Shear Salon. If you need sewing, quick weave, color, cuts, wigs made, you name it, that's your girl. That's my
Flawless Fade.
Flawless Fade is in Goshen, Mississippi. So if you're in Mississippi and you're looking for somebody to cut your hair, Fant is my barber in Mississippi. So he's at Flawless Fades. I think it's called a Gator Chop Shop now.
Born in Poverty is a clothing line. PJ is somebody that we support and have a lot of love for. So if you need an outfit, Born in Poverty is the person who can take care of you. Mark Haylock, original real nigger wear. He's one of the oldest black owned clothing outfitters around, older than FUBU. Mark Haylock.
The next person is Satoria Miller, CNS Cleaning Services. So if you need your business clean or your house clean, reach out to Satoria and Chris Miller. They also do the whitening toothpaste as well as shipping supplies. They do a little bit of everything.
Jamaicans.
A mess. Also, Art Angel. She's in the Jackson and surrounding areas. So if you need a portrait painted, if you need the bedazzled Crocs, if you need clothing, personalized clothing for birthday parties and stuff like that, or if you just want to do a sip and paint party, reach out to Art Angels.
Joy.
LaJoy is Joy's Exchange. She does like the
Consignment.
consignment shop. So her business is Joy's Exchange. So if you in Ocean Springs, and she ships as well. So, but she's out of Ocean Springs, Mississippi.
You didn't mention Brown Fit Beautiful. That's a growing business in the area.
Of course, Brown Fit Beautiful. I try not to toot my own horn. A lot of times I try to give other businesses the opportunity, but since he said something about Brown Fit Beautiful, we sell sea moss and Yanni pearls at this present moment, and we also have face masks. So I know it's COVID season and the flu season, and a lot of people are getting sick and stuffy and stuff of that nature. So I'm gonna tell you like this: when I was sick, I basically ate a whole jar of sea moss in like 2 days. So if you are sick or have pains and aches, if you are diabetic, if you have thyroid problems, if you're dealing with pain from chemo and things of that nature, sea moss is the best thing for it.
And you don't want them to get sick then take it. We want them to take every day, right?
Yeah, if you take it prior, don't be like me because I ran out and I stopped taking it, and that's how I got sick. But the whole time I was taking it, even when Joey got COVID and the kids were sick around me, I never got sick. So my whole thing is I got sick because I stopped taking it. Because if you take it prior, it boosts your immune system and it keeps you from getting a lot of these viruses that's floating around.
Okay. So how was your day today?
My day was productive. I got all my work finished for the first time in a while. I was able to get all my work complete about 11 o'clock today. So I did good. I actually enjoyed my day at work. How was your day?
My day at work was long, tenuous, but I'm here, and I'm grateful to be here.
That's good. That's what's up.
So what's the topic for today?
Whew.
And the topic, by the way, is brought to you via one of my friends and coworkers, Lucas Anaya.
So, He didn't give me like he gave me like a broad topic, and he wanted to talk about open relationships.
Open as in, explain that.
Well, I put like in a culture that favors monogamy, is it possible for couples to have open relationships that work?
I wanted this. I mean, we're going to explore the topic, but is it really a fact that the culture favors monogamy? Is that a true statement to these days?
I mean, when we talking about my generation, yes. I mean, the generation after that, the generation today, I just don't know. I don't know.
I mean, it wasn't no baby daddies and cheating going on during your.
It was, but I'm saying it's like people don't frown upon it now.
It was underground. They frowned on it then.
But I'm saying like they do now, like they
So
really.
Just a few moments ago, you mentioned a story to me because you went and got briquettes today, right? So what happened to briquettes?
Do I really have, okay, we were sitting at a table and this couple was there with us, and well, they weren't with us, but they ended up being in the booth next to us. And as they were eating, he was with his sneaky link. That's what they call it now. He was with his sneaky link. And his wife ended up calling. He had to step out the restaurant to take the phone call. So the little side chick, she got mad, and they ended up leaving. So that's what happened.
How old were they, you think?
If I were to guess, I would say early 20s.
They could have been 80. It could have been the same thing.
I mean, you're right, but you asked me how old did I think they were.
Okay, so what's your thoughts on the topic?
Do you really want to know my thoughts? It's kind of. I mean, although I see it, I don't feel like it could work longevity. It might can work for a moment, but not longevity. Like, I don't, because first of all, we as women, we're emotional creatures. So for the most part, if you're a woman, you want your man to yourself. Like, I can't imagine having to share you with the next woman, and I know it. Like, I just can't do it. Like, I can't do it.
And to be honest with you, men are more emotional when it comes to stuff like that than women are. I know a couple of guys that may be cheating, but they feel like if their female was cheating on them, they want to kill everybody. So I don't think it's a male or female thing. People, period, are emotional. The penitentiary right now is full of guys who caught their females cheating and either killed the man or killed the female because they were emotional. A lot of them can dish it out, but they can't take it.
I agree with that. Rodney said it was done in secret.
Yep, and look at all the songs that we grew up on that talked about that. Cheating in the next room, As We Lay. It's been around for a long time.
Whew. It's crazy because I hear people talk about it, even when I've talked about this topic, but not in like detail. And some women are okay, believe it or not, with sharing their man. And it's like, long as he take care of home, I don't care what he do in the streets.
I think it's all lies myself, but I understand. I've heard people say stuff like that. And a lot of times I think people say things like that because they really don't have any control. They feel like he's going to cheat anyway, so I may as well get my bills paid. And as long as he's taking care of the household, I can tolerate it. But it's not a comfortable situation. I don't believe that. So that's my thoughts on it.
What's your thoughts, Brenda?
People weird.
But yeah, Brad, I agree with you, man. It's good done in secret, but it always comes to like nothing done in secret can stay a secret forever. Because somebody gonna tell on somebody. You can't even do a crime with somebody, and most crimes are solved because one of the people that participated in the crime tells. So there's no way you can do this and be the only person involved with it. So it comes to the light. So why waste your efforts and energy on something that you can't get away with?
Like we talk about, I think when it comes to like polygamy, I think it's deeper than just wanting to share that man. I think a lot of people we talk about it all the time, but a lot of people deal with trauma. And when trauma is comfortable for you and that's what you used to, that's what you kind of revert back to if you don't get the healing from it. You kind of revert back to that. So if you used to being abused and somebody treats you nice, it's foreign. So you revert back to.
And see, I think most people lie to themselves. They feel like if they're participating in it, then there's a level of control that they are able to exert if you know what's going on, even though you may not be in favor of it. If you participate willingly, most people feel like they controlling it, but they're really not. Because if you got an open relationship, you don't know what kind of relationship your partner's developing with that other person.
True.
You don't know what he's telling her or what she's telling him. And that just opens up the floodgates for them to X you out of the situation.
Yeah, Rodney said, but they only want him as long as he's married or got a woman.
Yep. I've heard women say all the time that when dealing with somebody that's married, you can send him home when you through with him, like keeping somebody else's kids. So they feel like they get the benefits without any of the headache. But anybody who wants anything out of life, it can't stay the same way forever. There's always going to be expectations that come into the situation. And when the expectations come, here comes the problems.
And then you think about it like, if you the side chick, when holiday come, you lonely. When birthdays come, you're lonely. Like the things that when family time, you lonely. Cause you just the ass. You just somebody he can come to and have sex with, and then he go back home to his wife. So I don't understand that. Danielle said she can't do no sharing. And then Constance said if the woman is okay with it, it's because she's doing the same thing.
That's true. Community property. That's what it is.
Man, this is crazy.
It is. But that's the world we live in. And I always say the music plays a lot to do, but it's been the same way. What was the song with the two ladies, Barbara and who?
Barbara and Shirley.
Barbara and Shirley. It's since the 60s, same conversation. Except now, Shirley might stab Barbara. Or Barbara might stab Shirley, or shoot her.
Kathleen said people are okay with it because they feel like it's a need their partner have that they don't meet or care to meet.
I mean, probably so. But the thing about it is, to avoid the situation, everybody got to be honest with what's going on in that situation. Every woman in the world got the same thing. So why is it that women think that their situation is so much better than everybody else's? The one thing that every woman in the world possesses is the ability to have sex with a man or a woman for that matter. So why does a woman think that will be enough to make a man happy and nobody goes past that?
I mean, it's all about your upbringing too. If we was talking about this too, if you just saw your mama prostitute and that's all you see is prostitution and she's getting money for it, your mama is like, yo, all right, that's somebody I want to be like. So if that's how she make her money, I can do the same thing. I can sell my vagina. If hers was good to sell, then why mine's not good to sell?
You took it a lot deeper than I wanted to go.
But I'm just saying.
I understand. But
that's just basically what it is. Like, it's all about your upbringing. Because if you was raised by a decent woman, then you don't feel like sex is the only thing that I have to offer a man.
I mean, but that's you're right, but that's the sentiment that people have. You got very few people, and I said woman. I shouldn't say woman. Men do it too. Everybody oversimplifies what they should be doing in a relationship. Everybody think they're doing enough, but if you really sit down and examine what's going on, you may not be doing enough.
But the thing about it is, like you always say, don't bring your representation to the relationship. Bring who you really are, so people can know. Hey, I want to deal with this person. I want to build with this person. And this is who I'ma settle for. Yeah. But a lot of times we bring our representation and you fake it like this is what I do, or this is what I want to do, or this is what I desire to do, and then when you get in a relationship, it's the total opposite.
But
or in some situations, as you grow, like expectations change too. So, so you got that to deal with as well. And I don't understand, like, the cheating part is you go out, you have fun, you see the good part of him when he's smelling good, when he's looking good, when his breath smelling good, and he driving the best car and he got a pocket full of money. You're not waking up to his funk ass breath. You're not waking up to him leaving the toilet seat up or shaving and leaving hair in the sink. You're not waking up to him burping and walking down the hall. It's just a lot of stuff that you're not waking up to. So
burping and walking down the hall.
Walking down the hallway. So the things that's unflattering when you the side chick or when he's the side dude, you don't see the unflattering part of that person. So they feel like, hey, this person is better than what I got at home for this moment.
And that, you said the key thing for this moment. Nobody looks long term anymore. So I think that's a big part of it. Everything now is instant gratification. You want what you want, and you're not willing to work for it. That happens more often than not. Any other comments?
Rodney said, "Hell, Barbara and Shirley might end up together these days."
Yep. That's true.
They probably said, "Forget Charles, let's just hook up."
It happens every day. And then, you know, the shows that we have on television, they promote that. It's kind of crazy. I don't understand where we're headed as a society. Everything that we see is because of an agenda. I was looking at, what was the show I stopped looking at? Oh, man.
Was it Power?
Nah, I stopped looking at it too. But it wasn't Power. It was one show, and
My Empire.
No, it was
it was the one where the lady was she was sleeping with the president. She was a black lady.
I can't think of the name, but I know what you're talking about.
They had the lady from 227. She was on that gay. The maid from 227. What was her name? Marla.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't
Barbara's mom. I mean Brenda's mom. How is she gonna be on a show gay? But that's just the world we live in. Everything promotes a particular lifestyle.
They shouldn't have said pilot for the win. But you know what? Now that he said it, I was asking like people about this, and they like the reason they do polygamous relationships is because you can't find everything in one person. How you feel about that?
I mean,
Hey, DeConte.
I understand where they're going with that, but the standards don't change because society changes. You know what I'm saying? If we're meant to be with one person, we're meant to be with one person. If you don't believe that we're meant to be with one person, then okay. But I believe we are. And as from the standpoint of a man, I don't think one man has enough to satisfy multiple women. Hell, I don't think a man got the power to satisfy one woman because the things that they want changes every day. They don't know what they want.
They shouldn't say what's wrong with pilot.
It ain't if that's for you. I don't want a cracker.
I just feel like you shouldn't be in a relationship if you want to have sex with Barbara, Brenda, and Sarah. I feel like you should just be a single whore. Like that's just point blank period. If you want to sleep with Sarah on Monday, Brenda on Tuesday, and Barbara on Wednesday, don't get caught up in a relationship where feelings are involved. Hey, you just a piece of ass and we're going to keep it moving. But the thing about it, they can't do that because you want more than butt. So you want more than the ass. You want somebody to cook for you. You want somebody to wash your clothes. You want somebody to be there for your mental health. You want somebody to encourage you and all these different things. So it's hard to just say, I'm just going to be single and just, you know.
You got to be honest with yourself. But most people can't do that.
Catherine said, that's what I was saying. Certain people can't meet needs that others want, can meet needs that others want, but I don't condone it.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's the answer?
So I personally feel like I just feel like you can't. I just feel like there's no way possible it can work long term. Yeah. Like I just don't, because you got feelings involved and expectations constantly changing, and that's just what it is. And society is changed. Like you cannot be happy with multiple people.
But I'm sure if you pull the numbers on that whole situation, you'll find that most people that begin relationships in that way, they don't end like that. I've never heard of a polygamous couple being together 30, 40 years. I've never heard of that. Even on the shows, people on the shows at this point, TV shows have been around for 4 or 5 years, they starting to break up and get divorced.
Yeah.
So,
like you said, a woman really don't know. Well, her mind, her expectations change on a daily. So if you got 5 women with 5 different personalities whose expectations are changing daily, how can you realistically satisfy 5 people?
You can't. And I'm looking for Lucas to come in since he wanted to talk about this.
He was on here earlier.
Yeah. Lucas got a girlfriend, so I'm talking about this is kind of risky.
He'll be all right. It's life.
Yeah.
They should stay here. Monogamous relationship don't last 30 years no more.
Because everybody being honest with themselves about the situation. It's the same thing. Like
I
you
just
just
feel
said,
like a lot of monogamous relationships don't even exist.
Because they're not truly monogamous. Just saying that you are, and because you want to be monogamous, that don't mean you are. And that opens up a whole different can of worms. What's monogamy and what's not monogamy? If you're flirting, is that considered cheating? If you trade numbers with somebody, if you got a girlfriend at work or the place that you...
Cheating starts with a conversation.
Exactly. So that's the whole thing. Oh, Brendan must agree with that.
So it don't matter where you at work, in the line at Walmart, Target, at the bakery.
You don't want nobody in Walmart.
Wait a minute now, because why you don't want nobody from Walmart? I'm trying to hear these. What's up with Walmart?
Have you been to Walmart lately?
I don't really shop at Walmart.
What?
I mean, I shop at Target and I shop at Publix and Sam's.
Sam's is Walmart.
I mean, it's not Walmart for real. When I go in Sam's, I don't see people with bonnets on their hair and flip flop and house shoes on.
But you knew what I was talking about when I say about Walmart.
But I'm just saying, I don't see that where I shop at.
Well, it may have something to do with the Walmart. I mean, the Sam's Club that you go to.
Yeah.
I could take you to a Sam's Club. You said whatever, everything.
No, I'm good. I'll stay in my neck of the woods. I'll stay right over here, boo.
But the monogamy is a serious thing, and most people can't do it. And they lie to themselves saying that they're ready for that. But most people aren't. And that's why the divorce rate is so high. That's why you got so much. That's why paternity court never runs out of shows. Ever. And he is not the father.
I just feel like, and I feel like a lot of relationships are rushed too, because you feel like your wants are far more greater than your needs, if that makes sense.
I got an unusual, not necessarily unusual, I got a different perspective on that. I feel like a lot of relationships are rushed, but the activities that people get involved with these days are rushed. You know what I'm saying? You got kids, and you got a boyfriend, you got a man that you're dealing with, you introduce him to the kids without having any intention of taking it to the next level. And that being the case, it's easy to rush the situation because you playing the role of stepdaddy and everything else right now.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Like, you don't. I mean, nobody dates anymore. Like, nobody say, let me go out. Just like we was telling the younger kids to date before you decide I want to settle down and be with this particular person. I just don't feel like it's nothing wrong with dating 4 and 5 people
At a time.
I mean, not at a time, but just in general. Like, if you're a young person and you're trying to figure out what you want to do, I don't feel like I gotta just go with John and go to the movies and go out and say, okay, John gonna be my boyfriend now. I feel like I can go out with John on Monday and go out with Steven on Tuesday. And we're not in a sexual relationship, but we just out dating. I'm seeing how each person is. Okay. So a lot of times people don't date no more. They just start a conversation. They end up having quote unquote feelings for each other. They might go out to dinner. Next thing you know, they having sex and they in a relationship.
You forgot they got pregnant.
They had sex. Everybody don't get pregnant.
Most do.
I'm just saying, it's just like nobody date. Like, they don't date no more. And because females have no expectations, it's like, man, that bitch easy. I'm going to take her to Ruby Tuesday, make a
McDonald's, Burger King.
I'm just saying, if you a decent guy,
Golden Corral.
most people, McDonald's ain't going to work. I'm just saying something cheap. Ruby Tuesday. I'm going to take her to Ruby Tuesdays, get her something to eat. Because I know afterwards, bring her a little flour or whatever. Afterwards, I'm going to tear them drawers up. That's how they think, because women don't have, like, they morals and values are so low. So it's like, hell, all I got to do is smile at her ass and lick my lips, and it's on.
It's like, who's that?
They sure said, no cap, I agree. Make a female date, explore, figure it out. That's just what I feel. Like, I feel like you should date. And Kathleen said, I get what you're saying, Brittany, you're right. They sure say you can't smash all the time, though. You can't, but that's just the reality of it. They know, because females' morals and values are so low in this society, they already know what it takes to get in the draws. It's like, a man love it when he can chase a woman and find like new ways to please. I got to figure out another way to make her go out on a date with me. I got to figure out another way to get this woman hard. They love the cat that chased the mouse. Don't nobody want no woman who they can just get in their drawers the same night.
Comment, Desha. Nobody loves that kind of woman.
They ain't gonna make them their wife.
Oh, I agree.
That's what I'm saying. So if it's no fun, I can't chase you. If we can't date, then it ain't no future with you.
I understand, but guys are just like girls. They get worn down and they settle, just like women do, all the time.
So what advice will you give to the next generation? Because we raising two men and a woman. So what advice will you give to your two boys in this world full of chaos?
Stay away from cocaine and white women.
Rodney said there can't be a chase if the woman has no glory. Deshaun said depends on how that thing it. And then Constance says, but these days you got the women that's going after the man. And you do. We go back to there's no morals.
I mean, but the thing about it is this generation, before this generation, there's no examples. You know, very few people of this generation can remember grandmama and granddaddy being together for 30, 40, 50 years. By the time grandmama died, granddaddy been married 3 times. So it's different.
Yeah, because we always say we don't have a big mama no more, and the people that the village that we had used to have. Cause I remember when I was little, I used to see my grandma and the next door they all sitting on the porch watching the kids play, and you really
Smoking weed.
you really didn't hear a lot about like human trafficking or kids getting kidnapped, or because you had Big Mama and her friends, they out there gossiping, but they watching the kids.
But they are. I think life would be so much better if we just got back to basics. And the thing about it, basics may not be what we grew up on, so it should be better than it was before, based on the morals that we have or the lifestyle that we choose to introduce our kids to.
Because I heard somebody, well, I don't know what I was watching, but a lady was saying that, she didn't get the upbringing that we have the opportunity to give our children. So if you didn't have a mama that stayed on you or taught you the do's and the don'ts, or what's right and what's wrong, and just be 100% open and transparent with you, they always trying to hide everything. So if you didn't have that growing up, you basically had to learn it in the streets. So the generation now, where you got parents that's open and honest with you, even when it comes to financial stability and generational wealth and different, even sex and what's out there. We're the generation now. We're more open to our kids because we understand that social media plays a big factor in their life, and if we don't teach them, the streets gonna teach them. Yep. So she was asking, like, when do those kids use the tools that their parents gave them?
Yeah.
Because you can give a child a tool, but you can't make them use it. So that was something else.
Yeah. There's a lot that we need to do, but you know what? I hate to make everything religious, but if we got back to the teachings that we were taught as young people, from a biblical standpoint, things will be different. Nobody pays attention to the standards that we grew up with. And I really, to a certain extent, I think a lot of that is cultural. For a long time, black people acted this way, and we had a set of codes that we live by morally, and white people were typically more liberal than we were. I hear stories of the other race. They have kids that are like 12, 13, and we saw a story like this on television. The girl was pregnant, and her parents was letting her and the boyfriend sleep together. They were 12, 13 years old, and she ended up pregnant. So that was the kind of stuff that we heard about the other race, because we weren't raised like that. Now we do the same things that they do. So whatever moral standard that we had is being corrupted because we wanted to assimilate. So we fit in now, because every story you hear, if it used to be, if it was something crazy, you knew what race they were. You don't
but
now.
You don't. And just like that boy in Sims, with the sword, you would have never thought that he was the race that he was. He bought a sword and killed his mama and wounded his brother and his uncle. Like, in your mind, you say, "Oh, I know what color he is," but now you just don't know. It's crazy. So let's go to the comments. Deshaun said, "What's wrong with a woman approaching a man?"
I don't think anything wrong with it. The only thing about it is the guy has to, at some point, take his balls back. Because if a woman approaches you, then that gives her license to be the leader in a relationship. So it's okay to accept the pursuit from a female, but at some point you got to say, "Oh, I got this," because if she approaches you,
she's like the dominant one.
She's the dominant one. So you got to take your nuts back at some point. So that's the only thing about that. But I don't think it's really anything wrong with a woman knowing that she wants something, especially if the man in her life isn't necessarily assertive, she may have to step up and do certain things. But he got to get his, he got to make it clear who the man in the relationship is.
And then Constance said we got to teach our ladies their worth at a young age.
That's the most important thing, because a guy or a boy dating a young lady, he's not concerned with her worth. Hopefully he sees it, but that ain't his job. She should already know what her value is before she meets the little boy.
True.
That's something that the father teaches her. You can't really get that from your mom. The female, she responds to how the man in her life treated her, and little boys too. In the household setting, the man is like one of the key factors, or he should be, because he's going to teach the little boys how to be men and teach the young lady how she's supposed to be treated based on how he treats the mother. So that's like one of the key factors that we have to get back to as a race or a group of people in our society. We got to concentrate on our kids and just teach them what to do and what not to do.
So Constance said a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. And Deshaun said a wife isn't any woman. Being a female doesn't make you a wife.
That's true. And nowadays you got to make sure they were born a female.
Oh my God, you are so right, because I've seen some transgenders and I'm like, damn, I didn't know he was born Ed.
Some RuPaul's. But I mean, that's
Deshaun
just
said that don't mean that. I just simply may haven't looked to that side of the room. You don't have to be masculine with it. Go be a lady. If he grabs the convo, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Women shoot their shot too.
I agree with that. But you still gotta.
You gotta take your balls back.
You got to.
And she gonna run clean over you.
You be going to use the bathroom and she leaving the toilet seat up.
I hope that's not the case, because that means that she was born Ed.
Hey. You know, I saw this thing one time on TV. Oh, was it an ad I saw? They have a thing that you can wear that allows a lady to use a urinal.
I saw that bull crap. Who?
But that just shows where we are as a people. Why is that necessary? They don't want to be, they don't want to be.
Was that for a highway?
For highway.
When you riding in
No,
on the highway, because who want to walk around with a come? That's crazy.
That's where we are.
Deshaun said, "Nah, bro, that's Justin, not James." Woo,
But yeah, we just gotta do better.
man. Society is so. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's
And, I saw a picture the other day. It's so much different than how it used to be. Like, for instance, and I don't mind saying his name, NBA Youngboy. There's a picture of him with full face of makeup on, and he said in the text, he likes the way it makes him feel. When he got eyeshadow on and dark eyes.
eyeshadow.
He does the whole nine.
Okay, I'm done.
Nigga like Marilyn Manson though.
Yeah, I mean,
That's who you look up to.
I am done.
I mean, it's supposed to be a quote unquote quick killer. You know what I'm saying? But that's where we live these days. And then, just to put another twist on that, Kevin Gates got a tattoo of an NBA Youngboy on his arm.
Okay, I'm over this.
Gates got a tattoo of Elvis on his butt cheek.
Hey,
What? He got what?
another man tattooed on his butt cheeks.
Okay. How y'all know these?
I mean, everybody
I'm a
knows.
Gates fan. He talk about it in the music.
Okay, I can't. Gates, he my
Gates
boy.
told y'all he eat booty. He didn't say whose booty. He said eat booty.
He might was talking about a woman booty though.
Okay, you got 2 tattoos of men on your body. Do you have a tattoo of Drika on his body?
Probably so. I mean, Rick Ross got 5 of the presidents on his stomach.
But that's different.
How's that different?
First of all, I don't like Rick Ross music because he was a CO and he pretended like he wasn't.
Okay.
So that's a whole different thing to me, anyway. But the man said he like booty.
Joey, he might like
I
women
mean, Pimp C
booty.
talked about getting his booty ate, so
By a woman.
what's different stuff?
What? Okay.
Okay,
I'm not saying
moving
the same.
forward.
I'm just talking about the action. I mean, you would let a woman do something that you wouldn't do yourself.
Brenda's saying you'll let a woman eat your booty, but you won't eat her booty.
I'm not trying to do both any for real, but
Moving forward. Because y'all on a whole nother topic. We're going to get back on topic. So, what I was asking you before we start answering questions, like what advice or what would you tell your boys, the Braylon and Jalen and Kylie now, in this world full of chaos? Like, how would you deter them from riding the wave with society?
it's a matter of, it's not much that you can say because kids are going to follow what you do as opposed to what you say. So I treat the person that I'm dealing with respect and tell them that this is what you're supposed to do. And show them, because there's really nothing you can say that's going to make a kid do anything. They're going to do what they see. So examples has to be set. And the thing about it, I think to, like you say, break those generational curses, we have to be in touch with who we are as people. And we raise our boys especially to be as hard as possible. But if you are the man in a situation and you raising kids, especially boys, you got to show them that life has many facets. You could be the hardest person in the world and you cry when your mama passes, your grandma passes, because we are human. So you can't teach your kids to be so hard that first of all they walk outside and somebody shoots them because they super hard. Hard people die early. You got to show them to be men when it's time to be a man and be emotional when it's time to be emotional, and show them everything and don't hide your emotions. If you can't cry in front of your kids, then why would they ever think that it's okay for them to do it? Same way with your daughter. If something goes on, don't be afraid to show who you are, and make them understand that because you got emotions and you hurt when it's time to hurt, and you're angry when it's time to be angry, that doesn't make you weak. That makes you in touch with your feelings and make you strong. It makes you stronger, being able to show that and not caring who sees what. You know what I'm saying?
I get it, because I told you last time, I said, I hear a lot of people say, like, you're going to make that boy weak because you loving on him. But then that same boy grow up and show no emotions towards his wife or towards his daughter. So it's just like an ongoing cycle of quote unquote no good men. Y'all don't know how to treat women. Y'all not emotional enough. Y'all don't, you know what I'm saying?
But it's like it's a generational curse. I can't remember my daddy ever tell me he loved me ever, like ever.
It was hard.
But I'm just saying, I have no problem saying that now to my kids because it's necessary, and you need to hear that because you get your self-worth from your parents. So if you don't, if you've never heard anybody tell you that they love you and understood that you had somebody that had your back, it's going to affect you in some way. You know, and the thing about it, even this ain't about me. There were certain things. My dad was excellent. He was a great guy, but he didn't show no emotion. He told me if I ever went to jail, he'd come to get me. There were some things that were understood, so I never felt like I had his complete support. Some things he wasn't going to support, period. So if you go down there and you do anything you ain't supposed to do, make sure it's worth it, because I ain't coming to get you. Be it right or wrong, he ain't coming to get me. So I made sure that I didn't do anything that was going to get me locked up, whether it's my fault, his fault, her fault, it don't matter, because I believe that with all my heart, he ain't coming. When it was, when I first got in a position to buy my own car, and I needed a cosigner. I was told by my daddy, that man's an expert. If he think you need a cosigner, that's because he don't like you pay for the car. Who am I to question the authority? which means when I got my first car, naturally I didn't get a good interest rate because I didn't have anybody. I was on my own. And that didn't make him a bad person because it gave me a certain amount of responsibility. And I knew that I didn't have a safety net, which means since 16, 17 years old, I had to go get it because I wasn't nobody going to give it to me. So because of that, that made me treat my kids differently. So I do what I could do to break that generational curse. So, and that's what we got to do. I hate when, especially doing what I do, I'm a car salesman. I've seen firsthand a black person will come in needing a car and they need a cosigner. Mother, grandmother, daddy, whoever. Ain't nobody cosign for me. So no. You have a little white kid come in. He got 15 people that's willing to co-sign for him. Everybody. If Johnny needs it, yeah, where do I sign? You have black kids in the same situation, they can't get no help.
But do you think it's because of the money situation? Because, and I'm asking this because in some instances we always say the white man got 5 steps ahead of us when it comes to situations like, and I'm not saying in every situation, but
well, in this particular case where I work, very few of my customers really have credit problems. They'll come in about $80,000 car and put $50,000 down. And sometimes they black people. Black people got money too, so it ain't about that. It's just they aren't attached to their kids or support their kids like the other race does because they were taught that nobody did it for me. And it spills over to the kids.
Well, I'm not going to be like that with my kids. Constance said, I told my boys that because I didn't raise them that way, so get locked up and don't call me.
But what if he got locked up for something that he didn't do? And you deny him that support. We live in a time when the police do stuff that they're not supposed to. Your kid could get pulled over and it has nothing to do with anything that he did wrong. He just was a black person in the wrong spot. A young black boy in the wrong spot. He may have had his music too loud. It could have been anything. The reason why he got pulled over, he gets locked up. And as a general rule, you're not gonna come get him. And that's your choice. But we live in times where and I can't say we live in times because it's been like that. You got right now the jails are full of people that are innocent that are in jail because the police wanted them to go to jail. We don't get the benefit of the doubt that everybody else get. Sure. So that's why I can't, if Brendan, Deshaun, Chet, anybody call me, I got to come get you out because I don't know if you're right or wrong. Now, if you're wrong and I find out you're wrong, we're going to have some problems later on. But in the moment, I got to support you because I can't believe what they say because they lie a lot. So that's my philosophy on that. I couldn't deny my kids the support when it comes to law enforcement because you can't believe what they say.
I get it. I was watching a video, I think it was last night on Facebook, where this guy was actually just taking pictures at a federal building, but he was on the outside just taking pictures, and like 8 police cars pulled up on him. And one of the officers had his hands on a gun because he was a young black boy. But he knew to take out his camera, his phone, and record, and he knew his rights. So when he asked for the supervisor, and the supervisor realized that this black man ain't no dummy, let's basically leave him alone. So it's the same situation. Had he not known his rights and had he not had his phone out, they probably would have killed him. Or they probably would have took him to jail for something that he didn't do nothing wrong.
And you know the thing about it is, nowadays, and we're getting off subject, but we're going to go anyway. Nowadays, prison and jail is like the new slavery. They want to put as many of us in jail as they can because they're getting free labor from us. And there was actually something on, I saw today on TikTok or something. This guy was saying he was in prison for 18 years, and he was riding a bike because he can't drive right now because they revoked his license, and he hadn't got his license back yet. So somebody that he knew before he went to jail saw him after 18 years and was like, man, what's going on? He was like, man, I'm just living life, man. Just glad to be home. And the guy kind of smirked and said, you riding a bike? And he was like, yeah. And the guy was like, why are you riding a bike, man? So you broke now? And the guy was like, he got offended. He was like, these folks say I can't drive a car. I'm not finna risk going back to jail because you judging me because I got this bike. So my freedom ain't worth me breaking the law. And it just shows he understands how putting yourself in certain situations can messed up. And all he doing is trying to go to work riding a bike, but he don't know how the authorities are going to react. Whereas the other race wouldn't think twice about getting in the car. I can't drive a car, but hey. And he'll get pulled over, and they probably won't do that to him. You know, I've heard stories like we were talking about Walmart. I've seen people go in Walmart. A black person coming out Walmart, they stop them and search them as the white people right behind them taking the TV out.
And that's why I don't even stop no more, because I feel like that's my right. I don't have to show you my receipt. That's why you got security in here. Figure it out. And I just keep walking.
You see why if she calls, I have to go get her?
Just it's bottom line. Like, I'm not stopping. I feel like that's my right. I don't have to stop. That's why you pay loss prevention.
Okay. But you got to support those kids because you never know.
Rodney said, but we as black race have to stop treating jail like it's the new hood.
I mean, I agree. I understand that. I agree with it. But it's a trap. And that's why I made the comment earlier about the jail full of people that's not supposed to be there. Think about this. I'm not a weed smoker. But you got people that are right now doing 8, 9, 20-year bids for having a small amount of marijuana in the car or on your person. When now it's legal in about 12 states. But these people are still doing 20, 30 years for marijuana. And really, it wasn't necessarily about the marijuana. It was they were black, and that's the only thing that the officers could get them with. We have a white dude that have 5, 6 pounds of keys of cocaine, and get slapped on the wrist. It's not right. But I understand what Roddy's saying. We can't put ourselves in those situations by any means. But we got to understand that the systems aren't necessarily agreeable to our situations and what we do as people.
We have to, but even some people like make prison to be a good place.
Well, my grandmama told me, I had a cousin that would go to jail pretty regularly. She was like, you got to have a man or something in there because you keep going back. So the point is, even when we get in those situations, there may be other things going around or that's going on that we're not aware of. But they don't play fair. They don't.
Sad.
And you know, young black boys, they
have it hard.
Yeah, they really do.
They have it hard. Well, let's wrap it up. Anything else you need to say? Any more businesses you want to promote?
Nope. Just thank everybody for tuning in. We're trying to get the podcast more professional and get it more consistent and talk about the things that you guys would like to talk about. We have a brand new system in place. Brendan, the engineers over there, that's why we were a little late, because we were trying to get some new stuff connected and working. But we will be adding phone calls here very soon. The piece of equipment that we just purchased allows us to take phone calls.
That's what's up.
So next week, will you ready to do some phone calls, Brendan?
Yeah, we will.
So if anybody has a particular topic that you would like to discuss or have mentioned next week, just like Lucas, leave it in the comments, and that will be our topic next week. We will select what we're going to talk about, and we will advertise that subject. And if you guys can gather your thoughts, we can discuss it in depth next week on your next Wisdom Wednesday.
Correct. And again, I pinned my cash up below for the families. I don't know the people that got on late. We had a family that attends school with my children that lost everything in the house fire, and they also lost their mom in the house fire as well. So we were taking up donations to help that family out because I said that their situation today can very easily be our situation tomorrow. So if you want to donate, feel free. I guess we're taking up donations till
You know the mother's name or anything? What's the family's name?
I I don't know their last name, but I'll put the story on my Facebook page, so people can read about it. And I also will be taking up donations from now until probably the end of February because, like I said, they lost everything in the house fire. It was three kids, first grade, fifth grade, and then there was a high school kid.
And the little girl was the hero. The girl.
And the little girl, she saved
She
everybody.
she saved everybody but her mother.
So, yeah, again, it was sad. So that's it for tonight. I thank you guys for tuning in, supporting us, and pushing us, and helping us grow. If nothing else, I love y'all.
This, I know you guys are used to seeing this on Facebook, but we are also on YouTube, and we're adding platforms. It will eventually become a podcast that you can listen to, but we need you guys to like, subscribe, and share. Very crucial that you guys do that.
Thank you, Joey.
You want to repeat that?
What? We'll be on YouTube.
Like, subscribe, share.
Well, dang, you already said I don't have to say it again. Like, subscribe, share. I mean, but anyways, I thank y'all for tuning in. I love you all. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your night as well as the rest of your week.